This fight has been brewing for a long time. Our crews have gotten into fights.
Since entering the world of boxing a few years ago, Jake Paul has said a lot of smack. He wants to be perceived as a legitimate threat to all boxers and as one of the sport's top athletes, which is his main reason for doing so. Also to sell those PPVs. The issue is that, although having a great aggregate record in boxing, his individual victories don't qualify him as a boxer. But is this the main reason people dislike him? Recently, there's been some further steroid claims, which may have put his fight against Nate Diaz in jeopardy.
There's no turning back. We're gonna settle it in the ring, and this one's gonna be a war. This is gonna be a war. He comes prepared. He comes forward.
Make sure you stick around to the end for the full details. For those that may not already know, Jake Paul is set to face ex-UFC star Nate Diaz in a boxing match come August 5th. It's a big PPV for sure, but the fact that he's now going back to fighting retired MMA guys really says it all. He got completely outclassed by Tommy Fury in their fight a few months back, and now knows his place. Before we look at the different fighters' reactions and predictions to the fight itself, how did this whole fight come about? Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notification bell. This way you'll never miss out on any future celebrity videos similar to these. If you would all remember, Jake Paul fought and defeated Anderson Silva, another ex-UFC fighter who, to be fair, beat Chavez Jr. but is almost 50 years old.
This next fight, August 5th, against, yes, the rumors are true, Nate Diaz.
This happened toward the end of October, and Nate Diaz was present at this fight and got into an altercation with Jake's team in the tunnel.
Y'all niggas are quiet for 48 hours. Shut that shit up.
Best part of this clip, if you know Nate Diaz, is every confrontation video he's in, a bottle is always present. Let's go, we won, Diaz proclaims as he and his crew walk away. The pay-per-view fight will be distributed globally by Dawson, which makes this match interesting. Paul's most valuable promotions, and Diaz's Real Fight Inc., will collaborate on the event 50-50. It's obviously a marketing fight for Nate Diaz's new fight organization because this will easily do anywhere between 700,000 and 1 million PPV buys. Now that he has left the UFC, the contract has been signed and Diaz will be fighting for the first time outside of the UFC in 15 years, and in his first professional boxing match. Diaz has participated in some of the biggest pay-per-view events in UFC history, and there's no turning back. One of the biggest pay-per-view events was, of course, both Conor McGregor fights, which grossed a combined 3 million PPV buys, equaling to over $170 million in just 2 fights. Conor actually got interviewed and asked about who he thinks wins in the upcoming Nate vs. Jake fight, where he said this.
What do you think of that? Nate Diaz, Jake Paul fight.
I think Nate Diaz slaps the head off him, and I look forward to seeing it.
Look forward to seeing it. Are you going to go to Dallas, August 5th in Dallas? Would you be ringside for that?
Jesus, I'll probably be on the Lamborghini just off the coast of Sicily. I'll be on the Lamborghini off the coast of Sicily.
Hey, but you got Nate though. You're picking Nate.
I think so, Nate. I think Nate.
That's what's up.
Who do you guys see winning the upcoming fight? Jake or Nate? And if so, in what fashion? I've seen a lot of people say Jake and easily. But you have to remember, Nate isn't the easiest to beat standing up, and he's never been KO'd in his career, so Jake could be the first to do so. It's clear Jake isn't a fan of what Conor stated in that interview, because he's already come out and stated he's a better boxer than McGregor, and that he would easily beat him in a boxing fight. I'm a better boxer than you, Conor, and will do what you couldn't and knock Nate out.
He can take big shots. I can take big shots. I'm filled with vengeance. I'm angry. You know, I can't lose 2 in a row. I can't.
After Nate, let's box as the co-main event same night as Katie Taylor vs. Amanda Serrano in Dublin. But since you're not your own boss, you will hide behind Dana or just drink the rest of your life away. August 5th, you'll see. Hopefully one day this fight happens because it would destroy PPV numbers. It would easily do anywhere between 2 and 3 million buys worldwide, and it's not even wrong to think Jake could win that fight. As you're well aware, the Puerto Rican native from Ohio has never lost to an MMA fighter, including Silva. He defeated Ben Askren and Tyrone Woodley via knockout. My last fight didn't end the way I wanted, and the result was the best thing that could have happened to my professional boxing aspirations, Paul said in a statement. Now the world thinks I'm vulnerable when all I am is more focused than ever. My team wanted me to take an easy fight like KSI next, but that's not how I'm built. Nate Diaz is considered one of the most badass fighters of all time, but he and his team have been running their mouths for too long. Nate Diaz surprisingly said in a recent statement, "Besides Canelo, he's the biggest thing in boxing." Diaz said in a statement, "I'm here to conquer that. I'm the king of combat sports, and when I'm headed back to get my UFC belts, I effed up Conor for acting out, and now here I am again like a superhero of the real fight game. I am the king of the real fight game." You already know the first few press conferences between the pair are going to be chaos. The fact their teams have already fought last year at one of Jake's events, it will be action-packed, that's for sure. The path Paul, on the other hand, had discussed fighting fellow YouTube star KSI or Tommy Fury again in the near future. But Paul v. Diaz was too important of a matchup to pass up. Jake's fame and popularity continue to draw huge crowds everywhere. The Jake Paul vs. Tommy Fury fight cemented his popularity as it garnered over 800,000 PPV buys, which is insane for just his 7th professional fight. Now, onto all the recent steroid claims and how they've all stemmed. Over the past few weeks, there's been numerous viral videos discussing the accusation which has got people talking. If you'd remember, towards the start of last year, Dana made a video stating he wants to drug test Jake Paul because he is certain he's on roids.
I told you, you could randomly cocaine test me for the next 10 years. I believe that you're a cheater, and I believe that you use steroids. So I want to randomly steroid test you for the next 2 years.
A lot of people are stating he needs to be banned from boxing because of these claims. But we're yet to hear Jake's response to all of this. Only time will tell what will happen. Jake Paul's relationship with the MMA community has been tumultuous, to say the least. He has frequently pursued Dana White for various reasons, some justifiable and others not.
Do it, Mom! And so this one means everything to me. He does not want to lose to the YouTuber, so I think this is going to be a fight for the ages.
And he has even stated that he will launch his own MMA league with Anderson Silva in order to adequately compensate the fighters. But we're yet to see that come into fruition. The majority of UFC fighters are, of course, rooting for Nate, although some are unsure how the fight will go down. Sean O'Malley recently gave his thoughts and predictions on how he thinks it will go.
Diaz has shown his legendary chin time and time again. Boxing is a different sport. I don't think Anderson Silva is like, I think Nate and Anderson are probably similar kind of, I don't know what Nate's going to bring to the table that Anderson did.
Considering how much of a fan favorite Nate Diaz is to MMA fans, if we see him face down on the canvas like Tyron Woodley, I think it would be safe to say the entire UFC fan base is going after Jake, because that would break the internet. Sean Strickland, another UFC fighter, doesn't appear to be a fan of the fight because he posted, Jake Paul, there is this guy named Tommy Fury who doesn't really train or fight. I think people will think if I beat this guy with a Fury last name, I'll be a boxer. Recreational Fury. Well, I guess I can box again. Jake Paul. Okay, let's go back to 55 retired MMA fighters. Then in response to someone asking if he thinks Nate will win, he simply put out, not a chance. He sparred with a boxer I know, and he said he couldn't box. So on that assumption, I'm going to say no, LOL. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.